Welcome back, everyone. Today we're doing a deep dive on something pretty interesting. It's called Messages of Obsession.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of this.
Yeah, so it's this online programs by this dating coach named Karen, and she basically claims that you can use like specific phrases and words to make a man completely obsessed with you.
Wow.
Yeah,
It's a bold claim for sure.
right.
But you know what I find intriguing is how
Yeah,
she's grounding her techniques in like the science of attraction and communication. She's tacking into something very real, which
yeah,
is the power of language to influence emotions.
absolutely. And she's got like a really compelling personal story to back it up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in the promotional material, she highlights this guy, Miles, who was like a self-proclaimed womanizer.
Okay.
And he ends up falling head over heels for Karen after receiving a series of her emails.
Wow.
So she basically used her own techniques on him.
That's interesting. That's a clever narrative technique. I mean, the story of the skeptical cynic who undergoes like a complete transformation
Right.
is incredibly persuasive.
Yeah.
It really sets up the listener to be more receptive to the idea that these messages can have like a profound impact.
Exact. Okay, but let's get into the specifics here.
Okay.
How exactly do these emotion-inducing messages work?
So Karen focuses on the power of oxytocin,
Okay.
often called the love hormone.
Mm.
This neurochemical plays a key role in, bonding, trust,
Right.
and feelings of attachment. It's released during physical touch, of course, but
Mhm.
also during social interactions that, create feelings of closeness.
So Karen's saying that her messages can actually trigger the release of oxytocin in men,
That's the premise.
making them feel more connected and well-obsessed.
Yeah, that's the core premise.
Hmm.
Now, the exact mechanisms of how language alone can trigger such a
Bonded.
complex hormonal response,
Right.
are still being debated.
Sure.
However, there's definitely something to be said for the power of suggestion and the
Yeah.
way words can evoke, powerful emotions and associations.
Absolutely. And she provides specific message names in her program.
Oh, really? Like what?
Yeah. Things like knockout baby,
Okay.
oomph of love, and goody goody monogamy.
Yeah.
It's clear she's aiming to tap into deep-seated desires and trigger specific reactions in men.
It's fascinating to me how these names are crafted. They play on the psychology of scarcity and desire. Phrases like knockout and oomph suggest an irresistible force,
Right.
something a man can't help but be drawn to.
It's like she's creating a sense of urgency and excitement,
Exactly.
making men feel like they need to act fast to secure the woman's affections.
Exactly. And she's backing up these claims with glowing testimonials from women who say messages of obsession transform their relationships.
Okay.
For example, there's Eliza, who used a message to finally get her on-again, off-again boyfriend to commit.
Oh, wow. And what about, like, someone who's single?
Oh, yeah. Well, there's Luana.
Okay.
She's a single mom who is struggling to find love, and she claims the messages helped her rekindle interest from previous dates. It seems like she was able to create a spark where there wasn't one before.
That's incredible.
Testimonials like these, while anecdotal,
Sure.
speak to the potential power of these techniques. They suggest that by using the right words and phrases, women can create a sense of desire and intrigue that leads to deeper connection.
That's amazing. It really feels like Karen's tapped into some, like, fundamental principles of attraction and persuasion here.
Absolutely. It's about recognizing the power dynamics that exist in any interaction
Yeah.
and learning how to kind of leverage them to create the outcome you desire. In this case, it's sparking attraction and, deepening connection.
Right. But let's be real. A lot of people are going to be skeptical about this.
Sure.
Can a few well-crafted messages really have such a profound impact on a relationship?
It's a fair question. And while Karen doesn't reveal like the exact wording of her messages in the promotional material,
Right.
we can at least get a sense of her approach from the message names
Right.
and the testimonials.
Okay, so walk us through some of those examples then. What kind of psychological triggers might these messages be using?
Well, let's take the knockout baby message, for example.
Okay.
This one seems to be designed for women who want to create like an overwhelming sense of desire in a man.
Hmm.
The name itself is bold and suggestive, playing on a man's primal instincts and competitive nature.
It's like she's tapping into that subconscious desire to conquer and possess, to
Exactly.
be the one who wins the woman's affection.
Right, and it's likely that the message itself uses language that evokes like strong emotions and sensory experiences,
Oh, wow.
creating a sense of urgency and longing in the man.
Okay, interesting. And then there's oomph of love, which seems to be all about creating a sense of destiny and inevitability.
This one is fascinating because it taps into the idea of soulmates.
Oh, wow.
The belief that two people are meant to be together.
Right?
It suggests that the woman is like the missing piece of the man's puzzle, the one he's been searching for all his life.
That's a powerful concept. And it's no wonder this message has resonated with so many women. I mean,
Yeah.
we all want to feel like we found the one.
Exactly. And Karen is clever in the way she frames this. It's not about, like, manipulating a man into feeling something he doesn't. It's
Right.
about awakening him to a connection that already exists on a deeper level.
It's like she's giving women the tools to unlock that hidden potential,
Yeah.
to help men see what's truly possible in the relationship.
Precisely. And, she even provides examples of women who have successfully used this message to create, like, lasting, loving relationships.
Okay?
Remember Shirley, who used the wow, baby, wow message to win back her ex?
Right. He supposedly came back begging for another chance, showering her with flowers and apologies.
Yeah.
It's the ultimate fantasy for anyone who's ever been heartbroken.
Of course, testimonials like this should always be taken with a grain of salt.
Sure.
We don't know the full story, and it's impossible to say for certain whether the message alone was responsible for the outcome.
Right. Of course.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is the underlying psychology here, the wow baby wow message, seems to be about triggering a sense of loss and regret in the man, making him realize what he's missing now that the woman is no longer in his life.
It's about playing on those feelings of nostalgia and longing,
Uh-huh.
reminding him of the good times they shared and the unique qualities she brought to the relationship.
And Karen isn't just targeting women who are trying to win back an ex.
Right.
She also has messages designed for women in committed relationships who want to, like, reignite the spark
Yeah.
or deepen the connection.
Right, like the goody-goody monogamy message,
That's right.
which seems to be aimed at those who want to move the relationship towards marriage.
Oh, okay.
It's about evoking a sense of deep longing and commitment in the man,
Uh-huh.
making him realize that she's the one he wants to spend his life with.
And for those who are feeling neglected or taken for granted, there's the vapors of obsession message.
Oh yeah, that one's good.
It promises to make a man completely obsessed to the point where he wants to show her off to the world and make everyone know that she's his.
It's about triggering those feelings of possessiveness and pride,
Yeah.
making him want to claim her as his own and protect her from any potential rivals.
It's like Karen's giving women the tools to tap into those deep-seated desires that men often have trouble expressing or acting on.
And that's what I find so compelling about this program. It's not just about getting what you want in a relationship.
Right.
It's about understanding the underlying psychology of attraction and communication.
It's about learning how to express your needs and desires in a way that resonates with men on an emotional level.
And while the idea of using pre-written messages might seem formulaic at first,
Yeah.
it's actually a powerful way to gain clarity about what you want and how to communicate it effectively.
It's like having a script for those difficult conversations,
Right.
helping you navigate the complexities of relationships with more confidence and grace.
And that's something that can benefit anyone, regardless of their relationship status.
It's about empowering women to take control of their love lives and create the fulfilling relationships they deserve.
Absolutely.
So we've talked a lot about the psychology behind messages of obsession and how Karen's techniques can be effective in, like, creating attraction and deepening connection.
Right.
But I think it's also important to acknowledge the elephant in the room here.
Mm-hmm.
Some people might hear all this and think, wait a minute, isn't this manipulation?
Yeah, that's a valid concern, and it's something Karen addresses directly in her program.
Oh,
She emphasizes that her techniques are not about trickery or deception.
Mhm.
They're about understanding the nuances of communication
Right.
and using that knowledge to create genuine connection.
She's arguing that we're all constantly influencing each other through our words and actions,
Right.
whether we're aware of it or not.
Exactly.
So why not be intentional about it?
Exactly. It's about recognizing the power we have to shape our own reality, including our relationships. And it's about using that power responsibly and ethically.
Okay, but where do we draw the line? How do we make sure we're not crossing over into manipulative territory?
It comes down to intention and authenticity.
Okay.
Are we being honest with ourselves and with the other person?
Mm-hmm.
Are we respecting their boundaries and their right to choose?
Right.
If the answer is yes, then I believe these techniques can be used to create positive change in a relationship.
It's like the difference between trying to force someone to feel a certain way
Right.
and simply expressing your own desires and needs in a clear and compelling way.
Exactly. It's about creating an environment where the other person feels safe and respected, where they can choose to respond to your advances without feeling pressured or manipulated.
And it's important to remember that these messages are just tools.
Yeah.
They're not a magic bullet that will instantly transform your love life.
Exactly. A successful relationship requires more than just the right words. It requires mutual respect, shared values, and a willingness to work through challenges together.
But what Karen's program does is give women a framework for understanding the dynamics of attraction and communication, a way to navigate the complexities of relationships with more confidence and clarity.
It's about empowering women to take ownership of their desires and to express them in a way that's both authentic and effective. And in a world where dating and relationships can feel confusing and overwhelming, I think that's a valuable gift.
Yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head there. It's not about manipulating men, it's about empowering women.
Absolutely.
It's about giving them the tools to create the fulfilling and loving relationships they deserve. And on that note, I think we've reached the end of our deep dive into messages of obsession.
It's been a fascinating exploration of the psychology of attraction, the power of language, and the ethical considerations of using these techniques to create connection and intimacy.
If you're intrigued by what we've discussed today and want to learn more about Karen's program, we encourage you to check out her website. And remember, the most important thing is to approach any new technique or program with a critical eye, and always prioritize open and honest communication in your relationships.
Because ultimately, true love is about connecting with another human being on a deep and authentic level, and that's something no pre-written message can ever fully capture.